really want to highly recommend this book, Behold This Heart. It is the teachings of St. Francis de Sales on the Sacred Heart. So I'm reading two very different saints at the same time. I'm reading Catherine of Siena's teachings on the Sacred Heart and Francis de Sales' teachings on the Sacred Heart. And it's mind-blowing. What I like about St. Francis de Sales, it speaks to those of us who are lay people, who are called to be out in the world, but develop interior life of contemplative prayer while being out in the world. So it just was really speaking to my life right now, being called in all these different directions, but wanting to stay centered and grounded, planted in my heart with Jesus. And how do I do that? How do I bring what I've learned about contemplative prayer in my time of having quiet time and silence, a lot of alone time, and now I don't have any alone time. So how do I take the fruits of that time into how my life has transitioned now to being busier and people being around? I don't want to lose those fruits, and I want to keep growing them where he's calling me to now. I really wanted to share with all of you because I think we all need to remember this. He was speaking about the baptism of Christ and how it was at the moment of his baptism that God opened up the heavens and said, "This is my beloved Son. This is the beloved one. This is the Sacred Heart." He throughout the book, he talks about Jesus. Sometimes he doesn't say Jesus, he just says the Sacred Heart or the beloved one, right? I thought about how this is the beginning of Jesus's mission, right? He's just coming out from the hidden life in Nazareth. And the first thing he does is go to be baptized. And it's right then, at that moment, that God reveals to Jesus and to all those who heard, "This is my beloved." Here he is. God is equipping him for his mission. He's about to start his mission, why he was sent here, to heal, to preach, to work miracles, to die for us, right? All of those things. But when at the beginning of that mission, God doesn't give him a to-do list. He doesn't send him to school to teach him anything. He doesn't tell him he needs any more credentials or certifications, right? There's nothing he needs to know except one thing, that he is the beloved. And I thought, wow, like, do I need to remember that every single morning when I wake up, that all I need to do, what God is calling me to do today, is remember my belovedness. That's all I need. He'll take care of everything else. If I can stay rooted and grounded in the fact that I am the Father's beloved daughter, I don't need anything else. And that belovedness comes before I do anything. Jesus didn't earn that by going off and healing people and preaching God's kingdom. It was his. It was his from the very beginning, just as it's yours from the very beginning of your creation. You are the beloved one. There is nothing you can do to earn that belovedness, and there's nothing you can do to lose that belovedness. That is who you are. That is who you are, that is unchangeable, because God is unchangeable, and he calls you beloved. So one of the chapters in this book is about, it's a little lesson in how St. Francis de Sales taught those that he was spiritual director for, how he taught them to pray. And I'd like us to take a minute and give this a try. Thinking about this baptism of the Lord, putting ourselves in the scripture scene. And he really talks a lot about our religious imagination and using our imagination. Thinking if you all want to just get comfortable for a minute, and I'm going to read the baptism scene of Jesus, okay? And then we can just sit quietly for a minute and maybe try to put yourselves in that scene, that you are the one who walks up to John the Baptist and asks to be baptized. And as he's baptizing you, the heavens open. And God proclaims, "This is my beloved daughter." The beloved heart of Jesus. from Mark chapter 1, verses 9 to 11. In those days, Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized by John in the Jordan. And when he came up out of the water, immediately he saw the heavens being torn open and the Spirit descending on him like a dove. And a voice came from heaven, "You are my beloved Son. With you I am well pleased." And a voice came from heaven, "You are my beloved daughter. With you I am well pleased." So St. Francis de Sales taught that as we do this, and we are aware of God's presence, we're opening the eyes and ears of our hearts to his presence, to his voice. This stirs love, affection. And then he talks about, as we come to the end of this time of being in the presence of God and allowing him to speak to our hearts, we want to take away with us a spiritual bouquet. To pick 2 or 3 flowers from this little time in your garden heart. Something maybe that you saw or you heard or you sensed, a truth maybe that became more known to you now than it has been before, and to take them with you as you go out into the day, so that throughout the day you can keep that spiritual bouquet in the back of your mind. So as you're doing other things, you can sort of, in a sense, take a deep breath and inhale the scent of those flowers again and be reminded of your time with God and what it was that he spoke to your heart. And so maybe today it's something about your belovedness and how unchangeable that is. How he calls you his beloved one.